Dr. Alistair Mackenzie had a clear vision before even setting foot on the newly acquired land that would become the Augusta National Golf Club during his train ride from New York City to Georgia in July 1931. The renowned golf course architect pored over topographic maps of the former Fruitland Nurseries property, and by the time he arrived in Augusta for his first meeting with club founders Clifford Roberts and Bobby Jones, he had drawn up all 18 holes. According to Jones, Mackenzie had his plan so well laid out before he had even seen the grounds, so very few changes were made to what would eventually become the final design. Mackenzie sat down at his home at Pasatiempo Golf Club in Santa Cruz, California, a few months later in November, fresh from another successful site visit to Augusta, where his design was finalized, and proceeded to create one of the seminal pieces in golf art history. His detailed watercolor painting of Augusta National not only brings the graceful course routing to life, but also provides vivid insights into one of golf's greatest architect's strategic mind and design philosophy. Marco Miera, Master Tournament 25 years ago. Marco Miera won the Masters Tournament 25 years ago. Talks through the pleasures and perils of Augusta National Golf Club, the only place that hosts a major annually. Marco Miera, at the age of 41, did what many men wish they could, especially in middle age. He won the Masters Tournament with a putt at number 18. 3 months later, he won the British Open, his second and final major tournament victory in a Hall of Fame career that began during Jimmy Carter's presidency, and continues on the PGA Tour Champions circuit today. O'Meara's victory at Augusta National Golf Club marked his 15th Masters. It didn't hurt to spend a lot of time with a prodigy named Tiger Woods. Never did they have any prior experience. It's one of those golf courses where the more you play it, the more you understand it, said O'Meara in a March interview. The more experience you have there, the better your chances are. O'Meara last competed in the Masters in 2018 when he was 34 years old. But, like so many other Masters winners, he can recall decades of the course's pleasures and hazards from memory. "You're gonna miss good shots," he predicted, "but the best advice I can give anyone is to appreciate the good ones, because they don't come around very often, and forget about the bad ones." A cathedral of course architecture. Almond Corner, named by sports writer Herman Warren Wind in 1958, consists of hole 11, 12, and 13, which is located at the lowest elevation on the course. This stretch of holes has undergone minor changes over the years, and has hosted some of the most pivotal moments in Masters history. Description of Mackenzie's holes. Number 18. Holly. Even though Augusta National declares number 18 to be one of the most famous finishing holes in golf, the official description may understate the pressure on a player pursuing a victory. Off the tee, 2 bunkers at the fairway's left elbow protect this uphill dogleg right. A drive down the center will frequently necessitate a middle iron for a second shot to a deep, narrow green protected by 1 bunker short left and another hard right. Number 13. Azalea. Number 13, the only hole that has been lengthened for this year's tournament, will now play 35 yards longer than it did last spring. More tall, thick trees defending number 13 during O'Meara's prime. Many of them, however, have vanished, and players are hitting the ball further, and perhaps the length will discourage players from trying to bend their shots around the corner, O'Meara speculated. Number 12, Golden Bell. The hazards that comprise Almond Corner begin at number 11, a 520-yard par 4 test, whose chaos quotient is determined by the wind at the time. But, like many Masters champions, O'Meara has a soft spot for number 12, a horticultural marvel, and the shortest par 3 hole at Augusta National. Number 11. White Dogwood. The green is located in a stream bend. The approach slopes upward from left to right, making the second shot easier the further and more accurately a drive is placed to the left. This should always be an intriguing hole. I've never seen anything like it. Augusta Greens. A movement masterclass. Mackenzie's mildly rolling greens, as exemplified by the number 5 green, provide multiple opportunities for both players and pin setters to create exciting action. Mackenzie on Augusta National greens. The putting surfaces on the greens will be grass. The majority will be mildly rolling, with a few exceptions being quite so. All of the greens will be of generous proportions, with an average width of 32 yards and a depth of 30 yards. Number 6. Juniper. A downhill hole that O'Meara usually found to play between 170 and 202 yards. It concludes with a wickedly severe green. Number 2. Pink Dogwood. The number 18 indicates that the second hole in 2022 was the easiest. Augusta National is not known for its forgiving holes. All of them kept me awake at night, O'Meara said, perhaps half jokingly. However, number 2, a right to left downhill hole, can set a tone for the rest of the round. Bunkers, a restraint exercise. As he puts it, Mackenzie wanted to keep the number of man-made hazards to a minimum on the course that already had plenty of natural hazards to challenge golfers of all abilities. The 10th hole, which features one of the most iconic hazards, originally protected the green's left edge. The Mackenzie bunker is still visible today on what was once the first hole at Augusta National. Mackenzie reacts to Augusta's bunkering. There will be few sand traps with trees, streams, and gently rolling fairway surfaces, providing natural hazards. There will be several greens of unusual design with no guarding traps. Augusta National's fairways, where strategy meets skill. The generously wide fairway was specifically routed through the nursery grounds and widely spaced pines to provide the player with multiple angles of play towards each green. This also contributed to the designer's efforts to make the course enjoyable for all golfers by allowing more drives to stay in play and opportunities to make par even when shots are slightly offline. Mackenzie on the fairways of Augusta. The fairways are to be laid out in such a way that any type of player can choose a route from the tees to the fairways that he can successfully negotiate. The expert who tries for low scores will be confronted with sporting problems that will necessitate the most in terms of strategy as well. Switch signals exciting finishes the reverse nines. Prior to the course's completion in 1932, the order of the first and second 9 holes at Augusta National changed several times. The club chose the route Mackenzie drew in his 1931 watercolor for its grand opening in January 1933. This ranking was held throughout the club's first full season and the inaugural 1934 Augusta National Invitation Tournament, now the Masters. After that first year, it was discovered that the lowest part of the course, up to and including Almond Corner, was usually the last to thaw after a chilly night, making play much more difficult first thing in the morning. The 19th hole, not forgotten but forgiven. With a tee box plan between numbers 9 and 18, Mackenzie included a 19th hole in his design at the request of the club's founding members. The course was designed to be 90 yards long and played uphill towards the clubhouse. The double or quits hole was eventually dropped due to increased cost, but also because it would have obstructed views to the finishing holes, which were more important to the club's founders Clifford Roberts and Bobby Jones. The proposed tee box, on the other hand, would be developed and used as the original practice range back towards the open area in the center of the course design, which early exhibitions took place. Magnolia Lane has been in the making for 170 years. The magnolia trees that line the club's entryway, framing each arrival to the golfer's paradise, dates back to the 1850s, when the property was first settled by the horticulturalist Berkman's family. Fruitland Nurseries was owned and operated by the Berkmans. The road was first paved in 1947 and runs approximately 330 yards from the entrance gate off Washington Road to the Augusta National Clubhouse. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video and found it interesting, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be up to date with the latest content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.